Hello, my name is Vicente Lopez Mayor, and as I was not able to get people to participate in the activity, I will be making the video explaining the activity that I've chosen. I think that a good activity would be to mix the taboo game and the hot seat game. What I mean by this is that it would be a good idea to separate the classroom into two groups. If you have a smaller classroom, like for example, uh, 8 students, you could do two groups of four. If your class is a bigger class, maybe 20 students, you could separate it into 10 and 10. And the thing would be you should have two stack of cards, like for example, one about sports or cinema if you are using it at a lower level of English, and maybe if you're in a high school level or above, you could use the school subjects that they are using, or maybe more updated topics like politics. I think the fun part about this game would be, since it's a bit of a mix, you would have the groups. Let's say they are two groups of five. You could have one student sits at a chair, and he gets to pick a card from a stack of cards and reads it. The other team is doing the same thing, and they see, for example, sports, and they cannot use the words football, basketball, and maybe, I don't know, tennis. So after reading this, they have to try and make anyone from their group uh, guess that word. Once they have guessed it, that person that guesses it from the group goes once again to the seat and picks a card. This way we're mixing both games, and I believe it's a good way for students to get competitive. As we know, students at younger ages, like primary school, middle school, and high school, tend to be a bit competitive, and they find this type of games fun. And I believe that this would be a good way to get them to engage in a speaking class. Another benefit of this would be that by making them work in groups, you could make sure that any given group has a mix of higher level English students with lower level, so that they can both be pushed towards the same goal. At the same time, this activity is very scalable, since you could do it at any level. I've put the example for maybe middle school and high school levels, as I said, with the sports one. Maybe school subjects, like one team gets a biology one, and the other one gets I don't know, a history one, and one can't use wars, Napoleon, and I don't know, dictatorship, and the one that picked biology cannot pick a skeleton, cells, etc. So with this game, what I mean by it being scalable is, unless you have a very big classroom, like for example, let's say a 70 student classroom, but if you have a classroom that's usually around a maximum of 30 students, I believe that you could be able to do this activity with 15 people. And if you take it to higher levels, maybe at a university level, you could do this activity by making the students read a couple of topics about before the classroom. For example, you send them some homework for reading a couple articles about different topics, and you make those cards about said topics. About maybe, so one of the articles is about climate changing, another one might be about wars, another one may be about the 2030 plan for from Europe. You could scale it to pretty much any level, and that's why I believe that this would be a great game to play in classroom. And as I said, I haven't been able to get people to partake in this activity, but I hope that I made myself clear with this video, and that everyone can understand how this activity would be beneficial for a classroom. Thank you.